David, I'm going to start with you. The soundbite we just played from Musk from the conference call. I want to get your reaction.
Well, there's smart people everywhere. I mean, some retail investors are very astute, and some are just following a trend. It really just depends how much work you want to do and how much interest you have. I would caution, though, there's a difference between. I think right now a lot of people feel very, very, very smart that they invested, say under $200 a share and whatnot. And that's great that they've made a lot of money, but being an analyst means you're not in love with the company, in love with the CEO too. And there's a big cult-like following around Tesla and around Elon.
Yeah, so to that point, your fair value on Tesla is $326. Obviously, it's trading at $644, $645 a share right now. How do you get to that number, and why do you see such big risks to the price right now?
Well, I wouldn't say there's. I don't want to get too negative here, because I did say in my note last night that this is the most optimistic I've felt about the company in my over 5 years of coverage. It's just that in terms of vehicle volumes, I've already been pretty generous with them to get to my 326 number. For example, I'm at about 566,000 deliveries in 2020, and I have been for a while. It's certainly possible that number could go up a bit because they've got some more capacity coming online. I just think you've got to think about the whole picture here. You've got to think about key man risk. You've got to think about balance sheet risk, although they do have a lot of convertible debt that they could possibly just pay off without issuing cash. But I've just never seen anything like this. And they're still a very small company, yet they're the second largest market cap in the world. They're small in terms of volume, I mean. So, yes, it's a very exciting story, but stocks don't go up forever either, especially for little reason.
Yeah, to that point, Steve, want to get your thoughts on the move we have seen in shares. I mean, the fact that it's tripled in less than 9 months, how much more room is there to go? And when you look at the valuation at these sky-high levels, is it priced to perfection?
Well, we're about to find out. But look, if Tesla's had cylinders, you'd have to say they're hitting on all of them. 50% growth in vehicles sold. Record revenue, $7.4 billion, well ahead of the $7 billion analysts predicted. Profitable, beating profitability expectations. They're moving rapidly internationally, rapidly in terms of bringing more products to market. But I think the big picture here is something that Herbert Dietz, the head of Volkswagen, said, which is Tesla is the first auto company that's being valued like a technology company. They've done something very different than everybody else. It's truly the first connected car. And the question is, will your car be your next smart device? If that's true, I think there could be a lot of room to grow. There's certainly international growth and certainly growth as they bring new models to market. So say what you want about Elon Musk and Tesla. They've proved the naysayers wrong.
David, tell me, what would it take in your analysis for Tesla to be worth what it's trading at right now in terms of vehicle volumes, in terms of efficiency? How long would it take to get there?
Well, I think I'd have to, my mid-cycle operating margin, which granted it's a 10-year forecast, so that's way out in time, but it's 9, I believe it's 9%, which if you believe more of the tech story, that's way too low. So, I mean, I don't disagree with what Steve just said about a smartphone on wheels. That, there's been talk about this being sort of like Apple for a long time. And yes, it's a very tech-heavy company, but it's still a car. It's still very expensive, still massively capital expensive to do. And there's a lot of competition. I do think Tesla will probably always remain the best EV maker out there. But eventually, the differential between that it now enjoys between, say, like the Audi e-tron or the Mercedes EQC, maybe eventually that gap narrows a bit, and the Germans and the Japanese and the Detroit 3 they're going to be able to produce pure EVs a lot faster than Tesla's shown typically. That's why Tesla needs to get these new factories online. But the tech, I mean, it's correct. Herbert Dietz has been quite concerned about Tesla for a while. But I don't think all the other automakers are going to get that tech hill either, no matter what they do. Yeah. Exhibit A to that is GM, because they've done a lot of awesome stuff with Cruise. And I'm not saying they're better than Tesla or anything like that, but they're a leading player, and nobody cares. Yeah.
Steve, I want to get your thoughts, especially as a former board member. I mean, we've seen quite a number of executive changes and departures at Tesla over the last couple of years. The team that he now has around him and the fact that this narrative has shifted, Is this the right team? Does he need to bring more people, for example, maybe a COO on board still?
Well, look, I think the board's brought in a new chairman. That's a good move. There has been more turnover than I think many of us would like to see. But the simple fact remains they're moving faster than other auto companies. They put the entire Chinese facility up and running within 11 months. That's unheard of. They're about to do the same thing in Europe. They've brought battery production in-house. They're buying strategically key battery companies. I think they're going to be a leader in taking the cost of batteries down. They've got a powerful brand. To my mind, they're doing a lot of the same smart things that Apple did 15 years ago when they completely surprised Nokia. And people said it was completely overvalued for a phone company. And in fact, Steve Jobs proved to the world a phone could be something much more. I think Elon Musk is doing that now. There will be competition from General Motors, from Volkswagen, Audi, from the Chinese. But Tesla has a very strong brand, and nobody's moving faster internationally.